Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun!
Mom, I can't do this anymore.
Andrew's voice shook as he spoke, his eyes downcast, avoiding his mother's concerned gaze. The weight of his words hung heavy in the air between them. Carol had known something was troubling her 19-year-old son for months now, but hearing him say it out loud still sent a chill in her heart. "What can't you do, honey?" she asked gently, reaching out to take his hand. "Talk to me. You know you can tell me anything." "It's just, I hate it here," Andrew whispered, his voice thick with unshed tears. "I hate this town. I hate my school. I hate everything about this male hell life." Carol's heart twisted at his words. She had suspected that Andrew was struggling with his identity, but hearing him say it so bluntly still stung. She squeezed his hand reassuringly. "I know it's hard, sweetie, but we can make changes. We can figure this out together. Tell me what you need." Andrew took a shaky breath, steeling himself to put into words what he had been too afraid to admit, even to himself, for so long. I want to be different. I want to be more like you. I hate the way people expect me to act just because I was born a boy. I want to be free to express myself however I want without all the constraints of being a guy." Carol's eyes softened as she listened to her son pour out his heart. She had seen the signs, the way he lingered in front of clothing stores meant for girls, the subtle experiments with makeup she had discovered in his room, the quiet envy in his eyes as he watched her get ready for work in the mornings. "I want to try something," she said softly, an idea forming in her mind. "Come with me." Without another word, Carol led Andrew up the stairs to her bedroom. He stood shyly by the door as she rummaged through her closet, emerging with a simple black dress. "Here," she said, holding it out to him. "Try this on." Andrew's eyes widened, his initial surprise giving way to a spark of curiosity and excitement. "Really?" he asked, his voice tinged with hope. "Really?" Carol affirmed, giving him a gentle nudge. "Go on, try it." As Andrew took the dress and disappeared into the bathroom to change, Carol's heart raced with anticipation. She knew this could be a transformative moment for her son, a chance for him to embrace a side of himself he had been suppressing for far too long. When Andrew emerged a few minutes later, Carol's breath caught in her throat. The dress hugged his curves in all the right places, accentuating a figure he had clearly been hiding underneath baggy jeans and t-shirts. His once messy hair had been tamed into soft waves that framed his face, and a hint of blush accentuated his cheeks. But it was the look on his face that transformed him the most. His eyes shone with a newfound confidence and joy. "Wow," Carol whispered, unable to tear her eyes away. "You look stunning." A smile broke across Andrew's face, his entire demeanor transforming as he basked in his mother's praise. "Really?" he asked, twirling slightly, the dress billowing around him. "You're not just saying that?" "Not at all," Carol assured him, her voice thick with emotion. "You look beautiful, honey. Absolutely beautiful." Andrew beamed, his whole body relaxing as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders.
"This feels right,"
he said softly, running a hand down the skirt of the dress.
"Like, I'm finally being true to myself."
Carol approached her son, no, her daughter. She corrected herself, and took her hands. "Then this is who you are," she said firmly. "And I'm here to support you every step of the way. We can take things slowly if you want, or dive right in. Whatever makes you comfortable." Andrea. Yes, that was her name now. Carol thought, with a surge of determination. Took a deep breath, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "Can we go shopping?" she asked, her voice filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation. For real this time? Carol's heart swelled with love and pride for her child. Of course, she said, squeezing Andrea's hands. We can start fresh, create a whole new wardrobe if that's what you want. We'll take it one step at a time, and I'll be your guide. Andrea nodded, her face splitting into a grin. I want that more than anything. I'm tired of pretending to be someone I'm not. I want to embrace who I really am. Good, Carol said, her voice strong and resolute. Because from now on, you get to be unapologetically you, and I'm going to help you navigate this new world, every step of the way. Andrea's eyes shimmered with unshed tears as she pulled her mother into a tight embrace. Thank you, Mom, she whispered, for understanding, for helping me become who I truly am. Carol held her daughter close, her heart overflowing with love and determination to guide and protect Andrea as she ventured into this new chapter of her life. I love you, honey, she said softly, and I always will, no matter what.
We're in this together.
The next morning, Carol and Andrea set out on their first official shopping trip. As they walked through the mall, arms linked, Carol felt a surge of protectiveness as she noticed the curious glances thrown their way. She knew that this was just the beginning of a long journey, but she was determined to be there for her daughter every step of the way. They started in a large department store, perusing the racks of clothing with a mix of excitement and apprehension. So many choices, Andrea breathed, her eyes sparkling as she took in the array of colors and fabrics. I don't even know where to start. How about we begin with the essentials? Carol suggested, leading her towards the lingerie section. A good foundation is key. Andrea's cheeks pinked as she fingered the delicate fabrics, ranging from sleek silk to intricate lace. I never thought I'd be doing this, she murmured, holding up a matching bra and panty set. It feels kind of liberating.
It's all part of embracing your femininity,
Carol said with a smile, helping her select a few sets in a variety of styles and colors. And it's about feeling comfortable and confident in your own skin. They moved on to the clothing racks, where Andrea's eyes lit up at the endless possibilities. She gravitated towards flowy skirts and blouses, delicate dresses, and soft knits. Carol encouraged her to try on a variety of styles, offering her honest opinion and guidance along the way. You look incredible in that, she told Andrea as she twirled in front of the mirror, wearing a form-fitting pencil skirt and a silk blouse. It showcases your figure beautifully. Andrea beamed, her face lighting up with a mix of pleasure and surprise. Really? I always thought I had to hide my body, but this makes me feel powerful. Absolutely, Carol affirmed, guiding her towards the checkout counter, their arms loaded with an assortment of outfits. Fashion is all about expressing yourself and feeling good in your own skin, and I have a feeling you're going to turn some heads. As they left the store, their arms laden with bags, Andrea's step was lighter, her posture straighter. The weight of her secret was lifting, replaced by a newfound sense of freedom and self-acceptance. Back at home, Carol and Andrea spread out their purchases on Andrea's bed, admiring the transformation of her wardrobe. I feel like a new person, Andrea said, fingering the soft fabric of a blush-colored sweater. Like I'm finally becoming who I was meant to be. Carol smiled, her heart full as she watched her daughter embrace this new side of herself. And we've only just begun. There's still so much to explore and discover. I know, Andrea said, her eyes shining with anticipation. It's a bit overwhelming, but in a good way. Carol sat down on the bed next to her daughter, taking her hand. We'll take it one day at a time, and I'm here for you every step of the way. But there's one more thing I want to teach you today. makeup. Andrea's eyes lit up. Oh, Mom! I've been dying to learn! I've watched your routine a million times, but I've never dared to try it myself. Carol laughed. Well, now's your chance. I'll walk you through the basics, and then you can experiment and find your own style. She reached for a small bag she had prepared earlier, filled with a variety of makeup products. Let's start with the essentials: foundation, concealer, powder, blush, and mascara. We'll work our way up from there. For the next hour, Carol guided Andrea through the art of makeup application. She started with a fresh, natural look, demonstrating how to even out the skin tone, add a hint of color to the cheeks, and enhance the lashes. I can't believe how much of a difference it makes, Andrea exclaimed, studying her reflection in the mirror. I look more awake, more polished. It's all about enhancing your natural features, Carol explained, handing her a palette of eyeshadows. Now, let's have some fun and play with color. Together, they created a variety of looks, from subtle, smoky eyes to bold lips. Andrea's face lit up with delight as she discovered the transformative power of makeup, her creativity taking flight. I feel like an artist, she exclaimed, blending a shimmering eyeshadow onto her lids. It's like painting, but on a canvas that moves and smiles back at me. Carol laughed, her heart warm as she watched her daughter's enthusiasm. That's exactly it, honey. Makeup is about expression and creativity. It's a way to showcase your personality and mood. As they continued to experiment, Andrea's initial shyness gave way to confidence and a sense of playfulness. I think I'm ready to try something bolder, she said, reaching for a vibrant purple lipstick. I want to see just how far I can push this. Carol's eyes sparkled with pride as she watched her daughter embrace her newfound femininity with such enthusiasm and fearlessness. Go for it, she encouraged, sitting back to let Andrea take the reins. I can't wait to see what you create. With a steady hand, Andrea swiped the vibrant color across her lips, her expression confident and assured. She paired it with a smoky eye, blending shades of purple and silver to create a dramatic look. Wow, Carol breathed as Andrea turned to face her, the very picture of confidence and self-expression. You look incredible. Andrea's smile was radiant as she surveyed her handiwork in the mirror. I know this look isn't for everyone, she said, her voice full of assurance, but it makes me feel like the best version of myself. Carol stood and pulled her daughter into a tight embrace. That's all that matters, honey, that you feel confident and true to yourself, and you are absolutely glowing. The days turned into weeks as Carol guided Andrea through this transformative journey. They delved into the art of hairstyling, experimenting with different cuts and colors, and refined their fashion sense, mixing and matching outfits with confidence. As Andrea's external appearance blossomed, so too did her inner strength and confidence. She carried herself with a new sense of poise and assurance, no longer shy or hesitant, but proud and self-assured. And Carol was there every step of the way, offering unwavering support and love. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in the park, enjoying an ice cream together, Carol felt a surge of pride as she watched her daughter laugh and chat with a group of new friends, a mix of girls and boys who embraced Andrea for who she was. You know, Mom, Andrea said, turning to her with a grin, her eyes shining in the sunlight. I used to think that transitioning would be the hardest thing I'd ever do, but now I can't imagine going back. It's like I've finally found the missing piece of myself. Carol's heart swelled with joy as she watched her daughter, radiant and happy, surrounded by friends who accepted and celebrated her true self. You found your truth, honey, she said softly, reaching out to squeeze Andrea's hand. and I'm so, so proud of you. It hasn't been easy, but you've shown incredible courage." Andrea's smile was bright and genuine as she leaned over to press a kiss to her mother's cheek. "Thank you, Mom, for everything, for your support, your guidance, and most of all, for helping me become the person I was meant to be." Carol's eyes shone with unshed tears as she basked in the warmth of her daughter's gratitude and the knowledge that, together, they had navigated this challenging path with love and determination. "You're welcome, sweetheart," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. As Carol and Andrea sat together in the park, enjoying the warm sunshine and the easy laughter of Andrea's new friends, a sense of peace settled over them both. It had been a long and sometimes difficult journey, but seeing her daughter so happy and confident made every step worth it. "You know," Andrea said thoughtfully, licking a drip of ice cream from her cone, "I never thought I'd have the courage to do this, to come out as my true self, to embrace my femininity so openly. But with your support, Mom, I feel like I can take on the world." Carol's heart swelled with pride and love. "You can, honey. You have a strength inside you that is absolutely incredible. I've watched you blossom these past few weeks, and I'm in awe of the woman you're becoming." Andrea's eyes shone with emotion as she leaned into her mother's side. "I couldn't have done it without you," she said softly. "Your unwavering love and acceptance have been my anchor through all of this." Carol wrapped an arm around her daughter's shoulders, holding her close. "I'll always be here for you, sweetheart, no matter what. You're my child, and I love you unconditionally." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching as Andrea's friends chased each other around the park, their laughter ringing out in the warm air. "I was thinking," Andrea said after a while, her tone tentative but hopeful, "maybe it's time for me to take the next step, to start living as my true self, full-time, not just in the safety of our home." Carol turned to face her daughter, her expression serious but supportive. "Are you sure you're ready for that, honey? It's a big step, and I don't want you to feel pressured." Andrea took a deep breath, her eyes clear and determined. "I'm ready, Mom. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I want to enroll in school as Andrea, to introduce myself to the world as the girl I've always been inside." Carol felt a mix of pride and protectiveness surge through her. She knew that this decision would come with its own set of challenges, but she also knew that her daughter was strong enough to face them head on. "Then let's make it happen," she said, firmly, squeezing Andrea's hand. "We'll talk to the school administration, get your records updated, and make sure you have all the support you need." Andrea's face lit up with a radiant smile. "Really? You think they'll be okay with it?" "They'll have to be," Carol said, her tone brooking no argument. "It's your right to live as your authentic self, and I'll fight tooth and nail to make sure you have that opportunity." Andrea threw her arms around her mother, hugging her tightly. "Thank you, Mom," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for believing in me, for fighting for me." Carol held her daughter close, blinking back tears of her own. "Always, honey, always." The next few weeks were a flurry of activity as Carol and Andrea prepared for Andrea's official debut as a female student. There were meetings with school administrators, discussions with teachers, and a whirlwind of paperwork to update Andrea's records. Through it all, Carol was a constant source of support and advocacy, making sure that her daughter's rights and needs were being met every step of the way. "I won't let them treat you any differently," she told Andrea firmly as they walked into the school on the first day of the new semester. "You are a bright, capable young woman, and you deserve to be respected as such." Andrea took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders as she looked up at the imposing brick building. "I'm nervous," she admitted, her voice trembling slightly. "What if they don't accept me? What if they make fun of me?" Carol stopped, turning to face her daughter directly. "Listen to me, Andrea," she said, her voice fierce with conviction. "You are an incredible person, inside and out, and anyone who can't see that, who would judge or mock you for being true to yourself, is not worth your time or energy." Andrea nodded, drawing strength from her mother's unwavering support. "You're right," she said, a hint of steel entering her voice. "I am who I am, and I'm done hiding." With a shared look of determination, mother and daughter walked into the school, heads held high. The first few days were not without their challenges. There were curious stares, whispered comments, and a few outright hostile remarks. But Andrea faced them all with a grace and resilience that took Carol's breath away. She watched as her daughter navigated the halls with confidence, making new friends and excelling in her classes. She saw the way Andrea's teachers rallied around her, offering support and encouragement at every turn. And slowly but surely, the school community began to embrace Andrea for who she was, a bright, vibrant young woman with a heart of gold. "I'm so proud of you," Carol told her one evening as they sat together on the couch, looking through Andrea's new yearbook. "You've handled all of this with such strength and poise." Andrea smiled, tracing a finger over the glossy page where her picture smiled up at them, her name printed boldly beneath it. Andrea Thompson. "It hasn't been easy," she admitted, leaning into her mother's side. "There are still days when I feel like I'm constantly having to prove myself, to justify my existence. But then I remember how far I've come, and how much happier and more authentic I feel now, and it's all worth it." Carol pressed a kiss to the top of her daughter's head, marveling at the incredible young woman she had become. "Never forget how amazing you are, Andrea," she said softly. "Never let anyone dull your shine or make you feel like you're anything less than the wonderful, unique person you are." Andrea nodded, her eyes shining with emotion. "I won't, Mom. I promise." As the months passed, Andrea continued to thrive, growing more confident and self-assured with each passing day. She joined the school's drama club, channeling her creativity and passion into powerful performances that left audiences breathless. She made friends who loved and accepted her unconditionally, surrounding herself with a supportive network of peers who celebrated her for exactly who she was. And through it all, Carol was there, a constant source of love and encouragement. She attended every play, cheered at every awards ceremony, and held her daughter close through every triumph and challenge. "I never knew I could be this happy," Andrea confessed one night as they sat together on the back porch, watching the stars twinkle overhead. "I spent so many years feeling trapped, like I was living a lie. But now, being able to live as my true self, surrounded by people who love and accept me, it's everything I ever wanted." Carol smiled, her heart full to bursting with love and pride. "You deserve every bit of happiness, honey," she said, reaching out to tuck a strand of hair behind Andrea's ear. "You've fought so hard to get here, and I'm just so incredibly proud of the woman you've become." Andrea leaned into her mother's touch, her eyes shining with gratitude. "I couldn't have done it without you, Mom," she said softly. "Your love and support have meant everything to me. You've been my rock through all of this." Carol pulled her daughter into a tight hug, blinking back tears. "I will always, always be here for you, sweetheart. No matter what. You are my heart, and I love you more than words can say. They sat together in contented silence, marveling at the journey they had taken together and the bright, beautiful future that stretched out before them. As Andrea's high school graduation approached, Carol found herself reflecting on the incredible transformation she had witnessed in her daughter over the past few years. Gone was the shy, uncertain boy who had once hidden his true self behind baggy clothes and a forced smile. In his place stood a confident, radiant young woman, ready to take on the world with grace and determination. "I can't believe this day is finally here," Andrea said, twirling in front of the mirror in her cap and gown. "It feels like a dream." Carol smiled, her eyes misty as she took in the sight of her daughter, poised on the brink of a new chapter. "It's not a dream, honey," she said softly, reaching out to straighten the tassel on Andrea's cap. "It's the result of your hard work, your courage, and your unwavering commitment to living as your authentic self." Andrea turned, her eyes shining with emotion. "I couldn't have done it without you, Mom," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "Your love and support have been my guiding light through all of this." Carol pulled her daughter into a tight hug, her heart overflowing with love and pride. "I will always be here for you, Andrea," she whispered fiercely. "Always. No matter where life takes you, no matter what challenges you face, I will be your biggest cheerleader and your fiercest advocate." Andrea clung to her mother, tears streaming down her face. "I love you so much, Mom," she said, her voice muffled against Carol's shoulder. "Thank you for everything, for accepting me, for fighting for me, for loving me unconditionally." Carol held her daughter close, marveling at the incredible young woman she'd become. "I love you too, sweetheart," she said softly, "more than words can express, and I am so, so proud of you." The graduation ceremony was a blur of tears, laughter, and overwhelming pride as Carol watched her daughter cross the stage, her head held high and her smile radiant. As Andrea accepted her diploma, Carol's heart swelled with emotion, remembering the long, sometimes difficult journey that had brought them to this moment. She thought back to those early days when Andrea had first confessed her true identity, her voice trembling with fear and uncertainty. She remembered the countless hours spent shopping, experimenting with makeup and fashion, helping her daughter discover and embrace her authentic self. She recalled the challenges they had faced together, the whispered comments, the hostile stares, the moments of self-doubt and fear. But through it all, they had remained united, their love and support for each other unwavering. And now, seeing Andrea standing tall and proud, surrounded by friends and family who loved and accepted her unconditionally, Carol knew that every step of their journey had been worth it. As the ceremony ended and the graduates tossed their caps in the air with a jubilant cheer, Carol made her way through the crowd, her eyes fixed on her daughter. Andrea spotted her, her face lighting up with a radiant smile as she ran to embrace her mother. "We did it, Mom," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "We made it through." Carol held her daughter close, tears streaming down her face. "No, honey," she said softly. "You did it. You had the courage to live your truth, to fight for your happiness. I just had the privilege of being by your side." Andrea pulled back, her eyes shining with love and gratitude. "I couldn't have asked for a better mom or a better friend," she said, her voice trembling. "Thank you, Mom, for everything." Carol cupped her daughter's face in her hands, marveling at the incredible, resilient young woman she had become. "I'm so proud of you, Andrea," she said, her voice fierce with conviction. "So proud of the person you are, inside and out. And I know that wherever life takes you, Whatever challenges you face, you will meet them with the same grace, courage, and strength that have brought you to this moment. Andrea nodded, her smile bright and confident. I know I will, Mom.
Because I have you by my side, always. As they walked out of the auditorium, arm in arm, ready to face the future together, Carol's heart was full to bursting with love, pride, and gratitude for the incredible journey she and her daughter had shared. And she knew, with unshakable certainty, that no matter what the future held, their bond would always remain unbreakable, a testament to the power of love, acceptance, and the courage to live one's truth.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!